The desert wind sighs through Dry Creek like it's tired of watching men lie. Silas Boone sits on the porch of his modest ranch house, boot heels propped on the railing, a tin of coffee warming his calloused hands. The land stretches quiet around him. Golden dust swirls across the dry, cracked earth, broken only by fences, cattle, and the distant shimmer of the church steeple. It's a slow life, and after burying his wife 3 winters back, that slowness has become his solace. He minds his cattle, fixes his fences, and keeps his head low. People talk in Dry Creek, but not to men like Silas. A widowed cowboy who don't much smile, especially one who buried a colored woman in a white cemetery, doesn't get invited to church socials. He don't ask either. Folks stopped shaking his hand the day they saw the brown skin of his wife in her coffin. But Silas didn't marry to be liked. He married for love, and lost it too soon. Still, the days passed simple. Until this one. A shadow cuts across the dirt road, followed by the rattle of wagon wheels and the jingle of tack. Silas lifts his gaze and sees the cart creaking toward town, driven by a woman with vinegar in her bones, Greta Hensley, with her stringy bonnet and lips always twisted like she's tasted something foul. Behind her, in the back of the wagon, sits a girl, head down, hands at her lap, long braid tugged over one shoulder like a rope binding her to the wood. She's too still, not sick, not asleep, just resigned. Silas narrows his eyes. That's a labor girl's dress, cheap muslin, threadbare at the hem. But something's wrong. No tools in the wagon, no bedding, just a girl. He sets down his cup. In Dry Creek, nobody says it out loud, but they know. Folks like Greta Hensley find ways to make money off girls who've got no one. Especially if they're dark-haired and wide-eyed. Especially if they come from a colored father and a mother who ran off. Rumors flicker like wildfire and die just as quick. Silas wants to forget it. Ain't his business. But as the wagon passes, the girl lifts her head. For half a second, her eyes meet his. Hollow, dull. Then she lowers them again, as if hope is something she learned to live without. A sliver of unease curls in his gut. Damn shame, he mutters, mostly to himself. He doesn't know her name, doesn't know what deal's about to go down at the general store. But the wind shifts. Something about that look, something tightens in the air. Silas Boone, a man who's tried to live quiet and unnoticed, leans forward in his chair, sensing something's coming. He just don't know yet. It's going to change everything. Silas sees the girl again 3 days later, this time with a bruise blooming like spilled ink across her cheekbone. She's sweeping the front steps of the general store, eyes low, hands moving like she's not allowed to stop. Greta stands nearby, barking orders with a crooked finger and a voice that slices through the morning like a whip. She missed a spot. Greta sneers to Mr. Jenkins, the shop owner, loud enough for half the street to hear. Lazy blood shows early, don't it? Silas hears it playing, the edge in her voice, that venomous undertone, meant to slice deeper than the bruise already has. He pauses near the horse trough, pretending to check his saddle, but really just watching. The girl's hands tremble. She doesn't flinch, doesn't talk back, just keeps sweeping like her ribs remember what happens when she doesn't. Greta turns and meets his eye for the briefest moment, smiles like she's proud of something wicked. "Morning, Mr. Boone," she calls, sickly sweet. "Still playing the quiet hero, are ya?" Silas doesn't answer, just lifts his canteen, sips, and waits for her to move along. But that evening, the girl shows up again, this time near his fence line. She's carrying a basket, thin arms straining, likely sent to gather eggs from the McAllister farm 2 miles west. Her walk is careful, deliberate, like every step might earn her a punishment if she gets back late. Her braid is messy now, the hem of her dress torn. Silas watches from a distance, hidden behind the barn. His gut twists again. No one said it outright, but he knows the signs. He's seen this before, long ago, on plantations his father escaped. A girl too young to choose, too scared to run, being worked and watched and warned not to speak. Back in town, whispers say Greta Hensley took her in out of charity, that the girl's mama ran off with a Cherokee trader, and the stepmother's just doing her best. Folks like Greta always say they're doing their best when they're covering something cruel. Silas doesn't sleep that night. He sits by the fire, staring at the flames, remembering his wife's voice. Don't turn away when you see wrong, Silas. The world's got enough quiet cowards. The next morning, he rides into town and stops outside the general store. Greta's on the porch, puffing her chest like she owns every breath the girl takes. The girl's inside now, wiping shelves, her eyes sunken with something deeper than exhaustion. Silas tips his hat slowly. How much? Greta blinks. For what? He nods toward the girl. The labor girl. A pause. Then a smirk curls on Greta's thin lips, slick with entitlement. You want her? She ain't cheap, Mr. Boone. Mixed blood or not, she's strong. That's all the proof Silas needs. His stomach hardens, his jaw locks, and somewhere deep in his chest, justice stirs awake. He doesn't know the whole story yet, but he knows this. He's about to buy a girl, just to set her free. Silas counts out the coins slow, deliberate, his hand never leaving the butt of his Colt. Greta watches like a vulture, lips twitching in greed as she scoops the silver into her apron. She's yours now, she says, voice syrupy and sour. Don't come crying when she breaks something or don't speak right. The girl stands behind her, frozen. Silas meets her eyes again. No hope there, just disbelief. Like she's seen too many men hand over money and walk away. He doesn't walk away. You got a name? He asks, voice low. She hesitates. Then, Liza. He nods once. Come on, then. She doesn't move at first. Greta's fingers tighten around the girl's wrist. Not hard, just a warning. Silas steps forward. I paid, he says, calm but with steel underneath. She walks with me now. Greta, let's go. Suit yourself. You'll see what kind of trouble you've bought. They walk out of town, side by side but silent. Liza doesn't speak, doesn't ask where they're going. She just walks, as if the desert road is no different from the cage she left behind. At the ranch, she stands stiff near the porch. You ain't got to do nothing for me, Silas says, leaning on the rail. No work, no payback. You eat, you rest, and when you're ready, you tell me what she did to you. Liza blinks like she don't understand the words. She doesn't say a thing that night, but she doesn't run either. The next week, things begin to shift. Fast. Greta starts spreading poison through town. Says Silas bought a girl to keep his bed warm. Says he's corrupting white property. That he's dangerous. By the second market day, folks look at Silas like he's dragging fire behind him. Sheriff Doyle corners him outside the blacksmith. Folks are saying things, Boone, he mutters. Greta says the girl's her kin. Says she wasn't for sale, just working off a debt. Silas stares him down. Then why'd she take my money? The sheriff shrugs. People say lots of things. But Greta's family been in this town 3 generations. You've always been a quiet question mark. He doesn't say it, but Silas hears it clear. You married a black woman. You never fit. Silas nods once, turns and rides. That night, he talks to Liza by the fire. She sits stiff as ever, hands folded like she's waiting to be punished. She say you're a kin? He asks. Liza shakes her head. Mama married her. She wasn't blood. She ever hurt you? Silence. Then, only when I talk too much. Silas clenches his jaw. You ready to talk now? Liza looks up. Her voice trembles. She was selling me. Said I was old enough. Said I had the look men liked. Said it's what girls like me are for. Silas doesn't flinch. He just nods. That's all I needed. He rides to Pastor Mullins the next morning. Old man's hands tremble, but his eyes stay clear. You say she's been selling that girl? He whispers. That's a sin so black it chokes the sky. I need names, Silas says. People she's done it to before. People who knew her husband. Someone who'll speak. The pastor nods. She's done it before. Lost a house girl 3 years back. Folks said the girl ran off. I never believed it. They gather more. A former tenant. A young boy who saw bruises. The McAllister farmhand who helped Liza carry eggs and heard Greta threaten to break her bones and blame it on the mule. It's enough to stir the ashes. But Greta catches wind. She rides into town screaming slander, claims Silas is running a brothel, says the girl's lying to trap him for land or gold. And worse, she brings a deputy from Carson Ridge. White coat, clean boots, smug eyes. Says she's got law on her side now. This man stole my property she hisses, jabbing her finger at Silas. He kidnapped a minor, and he's harboring a mixed-breed girl with no rights to her name. Silas stands tall. You want to fight? He says. You'll get one. And this time, he's not alone. The town square is packed by noon. Sheriff Doyle called a hearing, though he pretends it's just a friendly arbitration. Greta made sure every porch was filled, every mouth ready to whisper. The deputy from Carson Ridge stands beside her, polished badge catching the sun like a blade. Liza sits on the bench near Silas, hands folded tight in her lap, body still trembling. Silas doesn't blink. Greta steps forward, all confidence and venom. Her bonnet flaps in the wind like a vulture's wings. This man, she begins, voice projecting for the crowd, has corrupted my family, stolen my property. He took a girl, barely 18, and is now using her for unholy purposes. Murmurs ripple. Mrs. Wilkins gasps dramatically. Mr. Jenkins scowls like he's already chosen a side. She's not your kin, Silas says flatly. Greta whirls on him, eyes gleaming. You don't know a damn thing about bloodlines, cowboy. Her mama married my brother, rest his soul. That makes her mine. She was under my roof. My protection. Liza speaks, voice shaking. You beat me. Lies. Greta snaps. Silas holds up a hand. Calm. Measured. I've got witnesses. He nods toward the edge of the crowd. Pastor Mullen steps forward, slow but firm, cane tapping the ground with finality. I baptized that girl's mama, he says. She wasn't Greta's blood. She wasn't kin. And she never wanted her daughter in that woman's care. The deputy scoffs. Pastor's word isn't legal documentation. I got more than that, Silas says. He lifts a folded sheet of paper from his coat. This here's a statement from Emery McAllister. His farm hand heard Greta threaten to break Liza's legs if she ever ran. Got it signed and stamped in Carson Ridge this morning. The deputy's face tightens. And that's not all, Silas continues. He points to the general store. Mr. Jenkins, you remember who sold me that girl. You counted the coins yourself. Jenkins looks like he's swallowed a nail. I just assumed it was a labor arrangement. She named her price, Silas cuts in. Took the money. Didn't sign no contract. Didn't claim no guardianship. She sold a human being on Main Street. The crowd shifts. Silence hangs. Greta tries to recover. This is all hearsay. I'm a respected woman. You're a trafficker, Silas growls. A slaver hiding behind God and gossip. And I'll see you burn for it. The deputy raises a hand, but Silas is faster. From his coat pocket, he pulls a small silver medallion. Carved into it, the seal of the Territorial Justice Committee, the badge of Judge Everett Cole. I paid him a visit last week, Silas says, holding the badge high. Told him everything. He's on his way here now, with arrest papers. Greta's face crumbles. You're lying. The wind shifts. Hoofbeats rise in the distance, steady, undeniable. A rider crests the hill. Dust trails behind him. A black coat flaps open to reveal a gold seal on his chest. Greta stumbles back, eyes wide. The judge reins in his horse and lifts a scroll. Greta Hensley, he calls, voice like thunder. You are hereby charged with the illegal sale of a human being, coercion, battery, and conspiracy to commit unlawful servitude. The deputy pales. Greta falls to her knees. And Silas just stands there, steady as stone, while the town watches one of their own collapse beneath the weight of her own sins. Justice at last has a face. Greta stares up at Judge Cole like she's seen a ghost. Her lips part, but no words come. The crowd is frozen, watching, waiting. Then she snaps. You can't do this, she screams, scrambling to her feet. She's mine. I fed her, clothed her. That girl was nothing before me. She was never yours, Silas says coldly. You just thought no one would care enough to stop you. Greta spins toward the deputy. Arrest him. He kidnapped her. You saw it. But the deputy steps back. Judge Cole holds out a second scroll. This, he says, is a sworn affidavit from 3 other girls, young women who vanished from your farm over the years. Each one placed in distant counties under false names. Bought and sold. Greta's mouth twitches. Lies. All lies. Not lies, says a voice. Liza turns. A young black woman steps from the crowd. Strong posture. Clear eyes. My name is Annetta James, she says. I was taken from Greta's farm 3 years ago, branded as a runaway. But she sold me to a man 2 counties west. I escaped last spring. Been hiding ever since. Gasps ripple through the square. Silas watches Greta shrink. Judge Cole speaks again. We got her testimony, Greta, and others. You didn't just sell girls, you silenced them. No, Greta mutters, backing away. But it's over. The townspeople part as marshals step forward, iron cuffs in hand. Her screams echo as they drag her off, rage melting into fear, pride into ruin. And the town? It starts to see clearly. The first brick hits Greta's storefront 2 nights after the arrest. By morning, her name is scraped off the sign. By noon, every customer she'd once conned with false charm walks past without a glance. The town has made up its mind. She's finished. Behind bars in Carson Ridge, Greta's empire collapses piece by piece. Her accounts frozen. Property seized. Every girl she trafficked, now a witness. Every lie she told dragged into daylight. The deputy who backed her, quietly reassigned. His badge don't shine so bright anymore. And the people who once looked the other way, now they can't stop looking. Silas stands on his porch at dawn, coffee cooling in his hand. Liza steps out quietly. Her dress is too big, the boots not yet broken in. But her spine's straighter now. She's been sleeping through the night, eating without flinching, speaking in full sentences. You sure about school? He asks, glancing over. She nods. Pastor Mullen said, they'll let me join the colored girls in town. Said I could help him with books till fall. A pause. Then she adds, I want to learn everything. I want to be somebody. Silas swallows a lump in his throat. You already are, he says. The town doesn't apologize, not out loud. But it shifts. Mrs. Wilkins brings a basket of peaches to the ranch. Jenkins nods awkwardly when he passes Silas in town. Even Sheriff Doyle starts tipping his hat again, like that means something. They're ashamed. They should be. For years, Greta wore Sunday dresses and evil under her tongue, and no one asked questions. But now, at least, the rot's been carved out. The town breathes a little clearer. 3 weeks later, at the town meeting, Pastor Mullen asks if Liza will speak. She doesn't want to, but she does. My name is Liza May Garrison, she says, standing alone beneath the old church bell. And I was owned, sold, hurt, but I ain't broken. She looks out at the faces, some teary, some ashamed, some curious. I ain't anybody's secret anymore, and I'm not afraid. Silas watches from a back, arms crossed, eyes steady. Later, as they walk home in silence, Liza asks, Why'd you come back for me? He doesn't answer right away, just kicks a stone down the dusty path. Finally, 'cause someone should have done it sooner. She nods, and then, just barely, she smiles. The ranch grows quiet again, but it's a better kind of quiet. One where voices don't tremble, where doors don't slam behind scared girls, where trust isn't something to earn with bruises. Liza plants sunflowers behind the barn. Silas builds her a reading nook by the window. No one talks about what could have been. They just live. And when the wind brushes the porch at sunset, it no longer carries the smell of fear. Only peace. Hard-earned, but real.